Welcome back, painting friends. Today we are going to paint a fun little whimsical Christmas tree. I'm planning on putting my Christmas tree up today. It's just a few days before Thanksgiving. Colors you're going to need: red, pink, yellow, green. I've got a couple different blues. I've got like a light blue, a dark blue, and a teal. White and purple. You're going to need my favorite 4 brushes. I've got my 1-inch flat brush, my 10-6, and 1 round brushes. These are always the brushes I keep at my table. Don't forget to have a rag and a cup of water handy for keeping those brushes clean. And today you're going to need some sort of like a gift card or a credit card or something with a flat edge. This is the one I just always keep down at the studio. As you can tell, it's been well loved. So if you enjoy what you're seeing today, make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you're kept up to date on all of the tutorials. Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just take spots of paint and put them kind of randomly on my background. Now I'm going to use most of the colors you just saw, but I'm going to hold off on a couple of them. So I'm just kind of randomly putting a couple of spots of paint down on my canvas to begin. So as you can see, I did quite a bit more white than other colors. That's kind of my blending color. So now I'm going to take this card and I'm just going to start at the top and pull these colors down. Okay. And I can either keep that extra on there or I could start back at the top and pull down again. And this is really just kind of a trial and error thing. Now you're going to pull it until you like it. I might wipe it off then and just keep pulling these down. Now, when I'm finished and I have my background mostly how I like it, I'm going to go in and add just a little bit of yellow to some of these lighter spots. Sometimes yellow can mix with some of these other colors and make it just a little bit brown, and that's not what I'm looking for in my Christmas tree painting. So after I have that yellow on, I will go ahead and do my final run of colors, making sure that yellow doesn't overly mix too much, maybe dropping a little bit other places. And if you think it's too much, all you do is you just press that credit card down a little harder and it pulls some of it up. Okay, we're going to let this dry. When we come back, we will add in our tree. Now that I have a dry background, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my number 10 round brush and some white paint, and I'm going to add some more detailed stripes. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to add some stripes going down. I want it to just be a little bit lighter in some areas. And you could do this with any color you want. It's just putting a little bit of paint on your brush and just kind of brushing it in straight up and down lines. So maybe there's a color that maybe you didn't like how it mixed or whatever. But I do like to do this with my lighter colors, not necessarily my darker colors. I'm going to wipe the brush off, wash it off, because this time I'm going to add some yellow and white on there. A lot of times I like to add white to my yellow because it just kind of makes it a little bit more of a, well, it's not a see-through first of all, but it just makes it just a little pop of that yellow. And when you get it to that brightness that you want it, call it done, and let's start to work on that Christmas tree. Okay. Wipe that brush off. Let's move on to that Christmas tree. I'm going to grab my number 10 round brush. It's going to be clean, so I'm wiping it off right now. Grab that number 10 round brush. And I am going to start off with my green paint. So I've got just plain old green paint on here. And I'm going to start at the bottom where I want my tree base to be. And I can really kind of line this out with small little outlines. I'm going to go straight across here. And I'm going to make a triangle up so that I know where I want my Christmas tree to go. Okay, this is going to be slightly inside the tree frame. And from there, I'm just going to take that green paint and I'm going to start at the edge and I'm going to pull it in. Now, these do not all have to be the exact same, but as you kind of pull them in, some might be longer, some might be shorter. They can overlap a little bit. And I can even take that, I can grab a little bit of that dark blue, and on that next layer in, just add a little bit of that dark blue to it. It's going to help it look like there's a small shadow. Wipe that brush off, go in with my next layer. So next layer is going to be just up a little bit. I want it to show that there are layers on the tree, so I don't want to kind of fully fill that tree in. I can even add, if I want to, a little bit of white to the tips of some of these. So I can have like a plain green, I can have a blue green, and I can have a white green to help separate those layers. My next one is going to be that plain green. Do you see how I left a little bit of space right here? I don't want that entire area to be filled in. I want it to show that there's that space in there. I'm going to take a little bit of blue right in here again. As this tree is drying, I'm going to take a little bit of white paint and an number 10 round brush, and I'm just going to go right along here at the bottom of that tree. Just use some left to right lines. Some horizontal lines. I can add a little bit of pink to that if I want. And I'm bringing that down into almost like a triangle shape. So it's a little bit taller at the top, a little bit wider at the top, and a little bit more narrow at the bottom. I can wipe that brush off and maybe even add some of that lighter blue color in there. Just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Okay. While this is drying, we are going to add some white polka dots around the edges just to kind of show that there's some snow going on or maybe some Christmas magic. So I'm going to use the back of my number 10 round brush, dip it in white paint, and I can just add little spots of white going all the way around that tree. Now we are going to let this totally dry. When we come back, we will finish out all that snow and ornaments on our tree. All right, so background dry. I'm going to go in with my number 6 round brush and some white paint. And I am going to kind of dot and dab all the way up these little spots. Now, I don't have to hit all of them, okay, because that would take like 100 years. But you do want to make sure that they're not all the same. So right now, I've got all the same. So I need to go in here make sure that some of them are fatter, some go up further. If you are one of those people that likes everything to be the exact same, this is going to be hard on you, but trust me when I say to take your time and make sure that they're all just a little bit different as you go up your tree. Again, you don't have to do all of them, but you do want to make sure you follow those original brush strokes you have because that's really what's going to set out your picture. So I'm going to jump into speed motion because this is going to take me a long time to do. I'm going to now take the end of that brush and I'm going to add some dots in the middle to help it look like there's some snow or some magic going on. So I've got those dots around the outside edges. And then you can choose to leave your tree plain like this, or you can choose to add garland or ornaments to it. Totally up to you. I am going to add only one color of ornaments. I'm going to add red ornaments to it. So how I'm going to do that is I am going to take some red paint on the tip of my finger like this, just a very little bit, and I'm going to make dots and just kind of randomly place these dots. I like to use the tip of my finger for when I want just a little bit larger circles than my paintbrush can handle. Now I do want to make sure that I don't put them on top of the snow because the snow would technically be covering them. So I'm putting these in the open green spots on my canvas. And then inside each of those, I'm going to take just a little bit of white paint on the tip of my brush and just make a small highlight. If you want to add a star at the top, go for it. You can make yours a realistic star with the 5 points to it, or I'm going to add a little bit of white and yellow paint on my brush. And I'm going to take just a little bit of paint on the tip of my number 6 round brush. I'm going to make a tall line here. And then I'm just going to make little starbursts that kind of shoot out from it. Some can be long, some can be short. There could be as many or as few as you want. Wipe that brush off, go in with straight white paint, and just add a couple of, I like to call these ghost lines. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. That means that your brush barely touches your canvas and you have just a little bit of highlight up there. All right, you know the last thing to do. When you're finished, grab a color that's going to show up well on your canvas and sign your name. I always put my initials in the bottom right corner down here. Remember that I never get to see what you're painting at home unless you take a picture of it and post it to my Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you're kept up to date on all of the tutorials. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Have a great day, friends. Bye now.